findings are putting fresh attention on the historical accuracy of the Bible. We touched on this last night a little bit with the founder of Pastors for Trump, Pastor Jackson Lamar. You might remember that if you're watching last night. So, researchers studying sediment layers near the Dead Sea say there's evidence of a massive earthquake in the early 1st century. And you're like, okay, duh, Dan, there's earthquakes all the time. Ready for it? They believe the earthquake happened right around the time that Jesus was crucified, which would match the details described in the Gospels. How about that? Get chills when I read this stuff about the Bible. Oof. That same research is gaining traction worldwide with some major headlines claiming the event has been proven. But experts say it's more accurate to call it now supporting evidence. At the same time, new verified fragments from the Dead Sea Scrolls are now on display at the Museum of the Bible, offering one of the clearest looks yet at how biblical texts appeared around that same era. Science and archaeologists aren't closing the case, but they are adding new weight to some of history's oldest accounts for us Christians, and I love it. For centuries, you ready for this one? The Ark of the Covenant, the sacred chest said to house the 10 Commandments, has remained one of the greatest mysteries ever. We're told it vanished during the Babylonian sack of Jerusalem back in 586 BC. So of course, there's been tons of legends on where it went. Was it destroyed? Was it hidden underground? Where is it? And there's been researchers looking forever. But now, there's a new search underway. Archaeologist Dr. Chris McKinney suggests the Ark was never destroyed, but hidden to protect it from invaders. Now, because traditional excavation is forbidden at all sacred sites like the Temple Mount, experts are now turning to non-invasive technology. It's kind of like all the tech with your body, right? They've got these non-invasive procedures. Same thing with going in and looking into the dirt. Researchers are using instruments that now track subatomic particles to actually see through rock, to map hidden chambers and any type of objects, especially made of metal, and they're doing this deep beneath the city of David. These advanced sensors could finally reveal what lies in these deep blind spots, and could it be the Ark of the Covenant? This, as a long-standing mystery atop Turkey's Mount Ararat, may finally be gaining new ground as well. A researcher with the group Noah's Ark Scans claims that new sophisticated radar and soil analysis of a massive boat-shaped rock formation could offer evidence that the legendary vessel from the book of Genesis is real as well. Hey, as a kid hearing these stories, I never thought any different. And as we keep uncovering these things, for all you doubters and haters out there and atheists, y'all better get on board and get right with Jesus. Ground-penetrating radar has reportedly uncovered a complex series of subterranean corridors and even a central cavity, all matching the estimates of the biblical Ark. Furthermore, soil samples taken from the site show distinct organic signatures not found in the surrounding earth, suggesting what? That there was human intervention or some sort of unique preservation. I mean, look at the shape. And if it don't match the dirt around, how did it get there? What is it? Joining me now to discuss all this further, a researcher at Noah's Ark Scans, Andrew Jones, who I believe is joining us from Turkey. Andrew, I mean, I'm a big kid on history and biblical history. My grandma read the Bible cover to cover, raising me I don't know how many times.
Not only that, but they also have found chariot wheels under, I think, the Dead Sea, or maybe another part of the water over there where Moses split the sea. God split the sea for Moses. That they have found findings of chariots and chariot wheels in the ocean that verifies the history of the Bible too as well.
So I'm here in eastern Turkey, and this site is located in the mountains of Ararat. Now, according to the book of Genesis, chapter 8, this is the exact region where Noah's Ark landed. You know, Moses, who I believe wrote the book of Genesis, he didn't give us the GPS for the location, but he said in this general region, the mountains of Ararat, which is where we get the ancient kingdom of Ur II. That's where we get the English word Ararat, and this was their territory. And this is where we're finding this boat-shaped object. It was first discovered in 1959, and different researchers have been here, been in the news on and off again. But what's cool is that now we have newer technology, digital ways to slice and dice our data that we're seeing below the surface. And so this is which is in the news this week because of what we've been doing at the site for the last 6-7 years.
Talk to me more about what I discussed in your intro, which we got from your people, about how the sediment, or if you call it a rock or it's fossilized wood, whatever it is, how that material doesn't match up with what's around. Are you finding things that are from thousands of miles away and there's no one explain how they would get there because that type of whatever material doesn't belong in that area of Mount Ararat in Turkey?
That is correct. So the biggest thing is we did a soil analysis. And so in the past, there have been soil analysis done on specific spots at the site, but we had a Turkish geologist professor and then an Australian soil scientist design an 88 randomized soil survey. And so from 22 locations, we took 4 samples to get a good average. And we did this inside and outside of this, it's an earthen formation, it's not a rock. And so we took these soil samples inside and outside of the boat formation to see what was going on, because actually how it all started for this analysis, I noticed that the grass was growing yellower inside, and I said, like, what's going on? And I actually had a tour that the same time we noticed the grass growing yellower, I had a tour group coming through, and one of the participants on the tour was the soil scientist from Australia. His name is Bill Crabtree. And I told this to him, and he had the experience. He lectures around the world, and he trains farmers. I said, hey, can we design a soil test to find out why is the grass yellow inside, and outside it's green? And this was end of September 2024. Mm-hmm. And so him with the Turkish geologist, they designed this survey and took the samples, and they had it analyzed at Ataturk University about 4 hours away from here. And by January of last year, we had the results, and it was showing that inside is very distinct soil compared to right outside. And so some people say, well, this is just a natural formation, solid rock, which it's not, or dirt going around a rock and it formed an oval shape. Well, the thing is, this is not the same dirt from right outside the parameter of the boat shape. So we have 300% more, 3 times more organic matter. We have 38% more potassium inside.
Wow. And
we have an 8-fold decrease in the pH scale. And so this is very exciting because in the past, people saw the shape, but they didn't realize what was going on with the soil. Right. Now we have laboratory proof that it's different and unique, and you can't explain it.
Anything else around there?
Around a rock.
You're talking for like hundreds of miles. There's no way that shape and what's in it matches any of the soil around. So it's way different. Again, could be really old wood.
We're testing. Yeah. Well, we're testing inside and right outside the parameter to show that this is distinct on the mountainside. Okay. So it is different soil on the mountainside. But we even asked the lab to test for like phosphorus and phosphates to see if maybe farming,
copper, zinc,
maybe the locals did something inside the boat shape. And we even interviewed some of the oldest villagers from the nearby village, and they said, no, we've never farmed out there. It was just natural grass growing that they would cut. But other than that, they did no fertilizing, no farming. Right. And so when this ship shape showed up, about late 1940s, but then it was first recognized when they did aerial photography in the late 1950s, and then hit the news later in that year and then into the next year. But it wasn't until now that we've actually taken and applied, soil chemistry tests to see what's going on. Why is this material different? Right. Now, if it's Noah's Ark, then you have a massive wooden vessel. As it decays over thousands of years, it would leave a chemical imprint in the soil, like increase in the organic matter, all this wood. Right. And the change in potassium, releasing the potassium ions. So it's very exciting. But that's not the only thing we've done.
Andrew, I hate to wrap you up, but I'm out of time. It's the end of show, and I'm going to go into the next show. So I know you're excited about it, and so am I, but I got to wrap you and say thank you, man, for all of this. Let's have you back on for more discussion as you find more.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, stay in touch with my producers. Andrew Jones with Noah's Ark Scans. Love this stuff. God bless you. Take care.
Andrew Jones.
And that's going to do it for another edition of Real America. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow on a Friday, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Until then, y'all know what to do. Be proud Americans out there. Be brave. And God bless y'all. Good night.
Yes, sir. I like that. I like that finding. Sure did. I like that very much. Let's see here now what's going on with CNN real quick. We can fit in something here. Okay.
To lucrative Pentagon contracts.
And it is one of Washington's biggest social nights of the year. We are live at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, where Donald Trump is attending for the very first time as president, mingling with members of the press he calls the enemy of the people.
And we're just getting started.
Celebrate 30 years of Fox News Sunday.
30 years.
Gathering and putting a spotlight on his systemic attacks on the media. His attendance comes amid the ongoing after Iran's foreign minister departed Islamabad following meetings with Pakistan's top leadership to discuss a potential truce with the U.S. We'll bring in CNN's Julia Benbrook, who is at the White House now. Julia, what else is the president saying about this latest update?
We did expect Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, as well as Special Envoy Steve Witkoff to travel to Pakistan for these potential talks. And Trump now says that has been canceled. He said too much time wasted on traveling, too much work, as he announced that this was not going to take place. He also looked to place blame on infighting in Iran for derailing these talks. Take a listen to what he had to say just a few hours ago.
You probably heard that we canceled the trip. We have all the cards. We're not going to spend 15 hours in airplanes all the time going back and forth to be giving a document that was not good enough. And so we'll deal by telephone, and they can call us anytime they want. Again, we have all the cards. They have no military left, practically. They have no leaders left. We don't know who the leaders are.
So you hear him say there, we don't know who the leaders are. He is emphasizing that he doesn't know exactly who is in charge. And in that post earlier today, he said in part, there's tremendous infighting and confusion within their leadership. Sure. Nobody knows who is in charge, including them. Also, we have all the cards. They have none.
The system is breaking down.
If they want to talk, all they have to do is call. It's been about 2 weeks now since that first round of talks took place in Pakistan that was led by Vice President J.D. Vance. And as he announced that they were leaving without an agreement to end the conflict, he did say that was the best and final offer from the United States.
And Julia, do we know exactly what this means for the ceasefire and any potential return to fighting?
A lot of questions still here, but in an interview with Axios, he was pressed on this, and Trump signaled that this did not mean that there would be a return to fighting, but he also added that they hadn't really thought about that yet. And when it comes to time frame, he says that he doesn't feel pressure to move quickly here, but he believes that Iran does, and the clock is ticking. When he was pressed on what a timeline might look like recently, of course, we've heard a number of predictions throughout this conflict, but recently he told reporters, don't rush me.
All right, we will see.
Don't rush us.
Thoroughly his A-team, the Vice President J.D. Vance, was always going to stay here
in
Washington and perhaps go to Pakistan if there were some positive developments in those talks. But at the end of the day, President Trump decided that it wasn't worth any of his team making that journey,
That's
a
long
bummer. Journey, 17, 18 hours.
That's a bummer.
Just made me feel stupid.
That's a real bummer. You know what? That's a real bummer. It just goes to show you that they're so disarray right now over there that they don't know whether they're coming or going. It's sad. It's a sad state of affairs and what's happening. And all we can do is pray for the situation. Pray that God will intervene and that we'll see this turnaround in a graceful, productive way for the benefit of the people and not a evil demonic regime over there that's killed over,
And the coming
I think about 25 or 30,000 people or something like that. And who knows whether or not those figures are even right or not. But you know, the Bible says that a divided house will not stand. And that's exactly what's going on over there. They're becoming divided from within.
We have all the cards. We're not going to spend 15 hours in airplanes all the time going back and forth to be giving a document that was not good enough. And so we'll deal by telephone, and they can call us anytime they want.
There you go. Good luck to all of us. God bless America. God bless our troops, and God bless our endeavors for which way that we go from this moment on. Good luck, and as we say in the ending of our program, God bless and shalom. Nerve-wracking. It's all nerve-wracking.